Yeah, bro. One of the things about doing this by yourself is that you're literally doing this by yourself.
Yeah, all like the technical aspect is just all on you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And if something goes wrong, yeah, that's on me. There's literally no one else who to blame but me, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. But that's also the fun of it, is like learning like new shit when something does go wrong. God forbid it does. God forbid it does.
Oh yeah. No, but I definitely trust me. There's so many hiccups that has happened throughout the podcast that you'll be surprised. Even some of the best interviews that I had in the podcast, there was already hiccups even to begin with. It's just you didn't know about it until behind the scenes you were aware of what the hell's going on. I mean, last week I had to record this chick Lucid Luna from Zoom, but OBS was acting up because of the new update and whatnot. So OBS was acting up, and I couldn't record her, perfectly through there. So I had to record it through Zoom, and from Zoom is like the way we have it set up right now. So it was like, like I moved this, like I worked so hard for this, and then later after that, I found out what was the reason, and it was like, fuck, I had to go run scripts, have to install plugins in order for shit to work again, and now it's working 100%. So it's like every time you update like a record box or an Ableton, it's just like you have to redo all that shit. It's just like pain, immense pain. I hate it. I love that I get to update, all the latest shit from Ableton and whatnot, but I hate that I have to like reinstall all the stuff and update all the other plugins.
Yep.
Luckily for me, I don't use that much plugins on Ableton. I just stick with my usual 5 and the ones that's easy to download, and that's it. So it's just those updates, but it's the hassle. And then because you haven't logged into their accounts in a long time, you have to remember, oh shit, what was the password for this account? Oh shit, what was the Creative Cloud? Oh, I had to go for their Creative Cloud and whatnot and download it from their cloud. And oh, there's a new update. Oh, I gotta put the serial number again. It's a pain in the fucking.
Yep, it fucking sucks.
Yeah,
that's why I forcefully don't ever update my record box, because it's just like, nah, I like it how it is. Yeah. I've heard horror stories. I'm not willing to deal with that. Like, we'll just keep it there.
Yeah, man. I recently, my work gave me my new MacBook Pro. Like, they pimped it up all the way for me. I was like, holy shit, thank you. I didn't ask for this. No, they gave me the 14 Pro with 32 gigabytes of RAM, processor A1, and 1 terabyte of hard drive. I was like, fuck yeah.
Jesus,
all right.
They really loaded you up.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for IT work related, but I ended up using for literally everything else. It's like it. I was
gonna say Ableton's IT related in some way.
In some way, to shape or form, there's some ways that I need to use Ableton for certain things that's IT related or AV related in this case. But yeah, they pimped me out, and I was like, "Damn, I didn't even ask for it." I wouldn't say it's as powerful as my Razer. My Razer is definitely more powerful than this, but this MacBook processor is running so much smoother than my Razer.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no, and I love PC. I love my Razer, man. I love it too. I mean, it's so far has gone with me like 5 years so far, and it's still kicking it like it was new, But I feel like the difference is just the processor and the RAM, because
well, can't you can always just like up that up. Like, I know people build their PCs and everything. They constantly come out with new processors and shit.
I just don't know if it's the same case with my Razer laptop, because I did pre-build it. Like I went to their Razer website and I say, this is how I want my Razer to look like. I want my Razer to have all these specs. I don't know if they went with the whole Apple route in which they smolder all their hardware shit. I have to take a look at it, but I hope they don't, because if not, I can just upgrade my processor and my RAM to a higher potential on my Razer and have to upgrade my battery. My battery's dead on that one. It's always have to be charged.
If it's smoldered together though, you're kind of screwed on that.
Yeah, that's why like I'm so looking forward to have my own built-in PC, but it's like $2,000 away from me. Yeah,
because I've been on the same boat of wanting to build my own PC, but I just have no space right now. Like I'm literally in a different room because I'm moving a bunch of shit around trying to get ready for screwing off the Lost Lands for the weekend.
Oh shit! So you're actually going to Lost Lands?
They have me playing one of the stages now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute! I didn't know. Wait, what? You're playing at one of Etz's festivals? Is this your first time playing on Lost Lands?
Yeah, so the whole thing is it's not like inside the festival, like it's not like any of the stages inside. So what they did this year is they built a whole new stage in the campgrounds.
Okay.
And like tomorrow and Thursday, like there's gonna be like people like, you know, Uber, Whales, and like a lot of the kind of smaller names playing there as like a pre-party. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday during the day is a bunch of like smaller names than that. And I got hit up by a really good friend of mine who works on Excision's team and was like, yeah, you want to play at like 1 p.m. on Sunday? I literally went because I was like just waking up and shit. So I went from my room. I threw my phone across my room or something like that and just screamed, "Holy shit!" and just ran out the room. And it was to a point where my mom was just like, "Are you okay? Or like, is everything good?"
Yo.
So like, yeah, that's a thing.
That's a fin to your resume. Lost Lands, guys. Here we go.
Add that to the EPK.
Fuck yeah, let's go. That's for sub, bro. Making moves. I love that. Congratulations on the slub, bro.
Thanks. Like that was honestly like the one thing I wasn't expecting to ever happen, like especially this year. And I'm like, all right, shit, it's happening.
Well, look at that, bro. Look at that. You're coming back home knowing like, bro, I did Lost Lands. What?
Like that's gonna be definitely one of those like moments where it's just like gonna hit and just like, shit, I'm doing this.
Yo, dude, you're gonna have the little tingling sensation down your balls. That's gonna be.
Oh, it's gonna be from like head to toe. Like we'll say like 10 minutes before I get on, I'm just gonna be like sitting, waiting to play. I'm just gonna be like, fuck this, fuck shit, fuck. It's just gonna be like absolute nervousness.
Nah, but
I always tell myself, once the first transition hits, everything from there is good.
Yeah, game over. That's it. That's all you need, bro. That's all you need. It's that one when you can't come to the realization of where you are and what you're doing. You're like, let's go. Like this is it, and then you just go ham on it, bro. Ham. Yeah. You let everybody know it's like, yo, I'm from South Florida, bro.
Like this is how we do it.
This is how we do it in Florida. Craziest people in all America.
And luckily I'm not the only like South Florida person on there, with Jordan being on the lineup too. Inside the fest.
Jordan.
Jandy.
JB. I've never heard of him.
No, Jandy. Jandi.
I'm drawing blinds right now, bro.
Anyway, he believe it or not lives like 10, 20 minutes down the road from me. So like I could not even that. So I see him every now and then.
Yo.
And I remember him teasing something, and I instantly went to a kava bar because I know he hangs out there a lot. And I was like, "You're playing Lost Lands, aren't you?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we have him representing hard too for South Florida, and I know at least all of the South Florida people are going to be there. If they're not, then I don't
Damn,
know.
that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Going to the Lost Lands and having two South Floridians repping Lost Lands. That's what's up.
And the good thing is that you have him representing like the heavy dubstep, the rhythm side of like South Florida, and then you get me representing the drum and bass stuff now.
So you actually fuck around more with the drum and bass than you do with dubstep.
Yeah, it's gotten to that evolution.
Really?
Don't get me wrong. I still love dubstep, but I feel, especially in South Florida, there is the oversaturation of it. But that's pretty much like almost anywhere in Florida. Like, there's too many dubstep DJs to want to get booked on these things. To where it's a much harder chance of anyone actually really getting anything.
This is the first time me hearing this shit. I don't know if I'm out of the loop or I was living under the rock, but it's oversaturated in South Florida.
In a way, it's oversaturated because you have people going. You have a lot of rhythm DJs. You have a lot of dubstep DJs, like experimental bass DJs. You don't have a lot of
drum and
anything
bass.
else. Drum and bass. You don't have a lot of
mid-tempo
hard. You don't have a lot of hard dance DJs. Like, in fact, I think there's only like 3 in South Florida that I know of. Myself, that's including myself, because I can do that too.
Yeah, no,
like
I know that the
one of those things.
experimental. I know the experimental is there. Like, there's a lot of people doing experimental.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good events that go on too, like whether they're monthly or like bi-weekly. Like, experimental is alive in South Florida, which is good because
we need bass. We need some bass in Florida, man, because the fucking house is like taking over all around, man.
It's
like,
house, techno, tech house, all 120 to 128 stuff. Like, that's all that there is.
Yeah, no.
The problem is though, is just there's really a lack of venue and a lack of people that go for local stuff. It feels like.
Yeah, I think that's always been that issue, that we don't have that consistency that a lot of house people do have, you know, and especially like most of the time bass music is usually catered to people between the ages of 15 to 25 or something. Like, it's hard to have catering people that are over 21. It's those rare people, you know, and even so, you know, sometimes they don't even pull up or show up, you know.
Yeah, but you have like that's like just with heavy dubstep though. Like, you know, you get that aggression out there, and it's just like. But once you do get older, like, you start discovering like, you know, house, drum and bass, techno. Some people start discovering the old school dubstep, like we're talking like Scream era.
Geo.
Yeah, and those kinds of dubstep shows, I'll still 100% full send it. Like, you have artists like Turny and Sound right now, who's just dominating the game. Like, they are doing 140 right in the States.
Damn, I haven't heard 140. 140 is dope. I feel like it's way too slow for me.
That's, I think, what happened over the years. It's just dubstep became commercially faster. And like, that's all most people are kind of used to now.
Yeah, because like everybody is used to classify dubstep as like the Skrillex thing. Like, oh yeah, you listen to Skrillex. It was like, well, sure, that's what I do, I guess.
Yeah.
Because but again, you have to give props to him, because it's because of him and many others, you know, we
probably wouldn't be having a lot of what we do have now.
No, exactly. The house scene will be still dominating. You know, it'll be trance and techno all around. Big room would still be a thing, you know. But it wasn't for people like him. Like, you know, I feel like dubstep continues to surprise me every year or every era. Because if you look at back before Skrillex. Before Skrillex, it was like what we call it, the deep dubstep, the dark dubstep. It was it was way more underground, you know?
Yeah, it was like you were talking like small rooms, like you know, not that many people there, and it's just like honestly, like that was a vibe in itself.
Yeah, and now look where it has evolved to what it is right now. You know, from the
we have 3 big dubstep festivals in the States now.
That's what I'm saying, man. What you got? Forbidden Kingdom, Lost Lands, and which one's the other one? Bass Rush,
Bass Canyon.
Bass Canyon. I thought Bass Canyon was in Canada for some reason. I don't know why.
It's in Washington. It's just close enough. It might as well be. It might as well be Canada.
That made sense. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Okay. Yeah, dude. 3 major bass festivals. You know, like
that's not even counting like all the smaller ones too.
Yeah, if you don't count like the smaller ones and the ones that do appear like in all of the EDCs, you know, the EDCs has their own bass stages, you know, every year.
Yeah.
And even like the other not smaller scale festivals, but the Sunset Music Festivals and whatnot.
The multi-genre festivals.
Yeah. I do not include Ultra and Tomorrowland in it because they really do not give a shit about bass people. And if they do, they'll give us this small little production versus the fucking big room people and house people, like the fucking, like you're inside the ass of somebody. You're like, the fuck is this production, dude? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, like there's only so many artists that can break that barrier to bringing like dubstep to like ultra main stage. But like it's still at a point where it's like still kind of like the niche genre. You know, it's weird in a way.
It is weird. It is weird because it is that it's only niche to the point that it's only catered to, like what we said earlier, to certain people at a certain age, you know, and people like who grew up with dubstep with us, you know, they outgrew it. They outgrew it because of what you said earlier. They have like different tastes. They discover drum and bass. They discover techno. They discover this and that, and now they cater to that stuff right now. You know, so when they hear dubstep, it's like, oh yeah, it was a good time. So they're like, they don't go back again to it. Only people like us, we're very stubborn. We're like, nah, we love dubstep that much that we stick around. We want to see its evolution to it. But yeah, it's only like that. Catered to those certain people only. Yeah,
and like, you know, it's good to evolve into like other music tastes. Like, don't get me wrong, it's like I don't shit on dubstep. I just don't listen to it. But like, it still always just continues to evolve or impress me, like how much like people are doing, like with all the new little tricks that they have.
I mean, look how dope it is right now that we're in the stages of future rhythm.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, like I cannot wait what's the next genre or what's the next era of dubstep to be. Because this era is right now, it's future rhythm and tear out, which is fucking dope, and I love doing it. Both of them, actually. And yeah. I cannot wait what comes afterwards, because I don't know why, but every time I'm hearing dubstep, I was like, bro, there's no way this could be elevated to another level. And there they go. They proved me wrong, bro. Like it all started from bro step. It's like, bro, there could not be anything better than bro step. Boom, there comes the rhythm shit. All right, there's nothing better than rhythm. Boom, there's the metal step. All right, there's nothing better than metal step. Boom, tear out. Okay, there's nothing more than tear out. It's like chill step. Now we add melodic drops into our dubstep. Here's future bass. Like, what the fuck is going on in here? Hybrid trap. What? Now we're adding 808s to these drops. What the fuck? It's like, oh yeah, welcome to color bass, which is future rhythm, bro. Like, look how many genres that it's
just split into so many different branches that the tree can't even keep up with it. But at this point, it's just all dubstep to me now.
Yeah, that's how
it's like. It's like if I can't just if I can't distinctly identify what it would fall into, then it's just dubstep. Like no ifs, ands, or buts around it.
Yeah, anything that's between 140 to 150, it's considered dubstep. Anything.
I would give it like 5 BPM up or down. So like maybe because there are some dubstep at like 135 and then some at like 155. But 140 to 150 is like the main.
It's the main main range. Yeah, that's where a lot of people would just intervene from within those ranges. Is like it's either you're slow or you're fast. Which is it? And then you got the roasted that's like right there in the middle. It's like cute right there. It's like we're still here.
Well, any producer that's making 145 BPM is thriving because they can just go slower or faster and it works out perfect.
Fucking Zomboy does that, and he does a great job at doing it. It's just, I love that he still does the 145. I just hate that some of his recent music is like, damn, bro, like you should. I get that it's your sound, but you should catch up with the times. You need to evolve yourself into where you should be right now. And I love fucking Zomboy. Like I'm one of his biggest fans, and I met that guy a couple times, and I was just like over the moon. It's just I don't know. I just kind of disappointed of his last EP a little bit because some of the songs was like, like you,
it's like
like you did a good job here, and then you just messed it up here. And I was like, I don't know what you were trying to do.
Yeah, like some people get too comfortable in their sounds to want to like evolve further, which ultimately like they fall off at the end of the day. Like you don't hear much of Zomboy anymore. That's the sad part.
Yeah, no.
When he was dominating back in like 2013.
Bruh. Guy was a beast,
Yeah, but like you put a Zomboy track out now, most of the new school kids would just be like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get like a lot of the people like, us and like the people who grew up in that era and just be like, holy shit, he's releasing music again.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think it's actually a generation thing? You think like every so often that because some of these certain artists, they don't evolve from, they still stale in this
I feel like that's usually what kind of happens is like some artists will grow to notoriety and then if they don't really change much of their stuff or something happens, they just kind of fall off. It's happened a lot in especially like the smaller like tear out communities. Like you have all these artists like Sadhu, Trollface, like all those people who were well-known names back then, but they haven't done anything. Well, Sadhu still does stuff and he's making himself like kind of a comeback, but it's mostly from the people that grew up with them that are like, holy shit, he's on a lineup.
Yeah. And unless they're in a festival, they wouldn't normally will go to a show that's from one of these said artists, because they were like, yeah, I don't want to be with a bunch of kids, I'll be like one of the few adults there. I'll be look awkward. Yeah, I'll go hard on him, but then again, it's like I'd rather spend my money on a festival where if he's in the lineup, that's dope. I can see him, and then I can see others.
Yeah. And that's the beauty, but also downfall of festival. Like the sad part of festivals, it's like people will spend all their money on like seeing the artists there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get some people that will just like they'll come to like South Florida, for example, and they're just like, yeah, nah, I'll try and catch him at another festival or something like that. And then they don't show up for X amount of time.
Yeah, and then that X amount of time goes on, and then it gets to a point. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I remember when I was young enough, I wanted to go. Now I'm like, nah, I got too many responsibilities. I got other shit. Yeah. Damn, bro.
Yeah, it definitely has those generational shifts with artists that you grow up with, and then whatever age range it is. Because Because back in the day, we had like Zomboy, we had your Dubloads, we had who else is a big one? Like all those kind of like Trollface, all those kind of artists. That was like the 2012, 2015 period when a lot of us were still kids.
Yeah.
Essentially. Like I was like 18 to 20 around that time.
Oh, I was already in my 20s at that time.
Yeah. And then not looking at it currently, you have people like Subtronics, you have people like LS Dream, you have like all these kinds of people. And the age demographic for a lot of those is a lot. Again, mostly like 18 to like 20 something, like mid 20s.
Where do you consider Virtual Riot in all that scale? I mean, all that scale.
I think he is one of those that's just like he just the thing with Virtual Riot too is he continues to evolve his sound. He doesn't stick to one. So he does a lot of obviously like the bro step rhythm stuff, but he can do like future bass, he can do melodic dubstep, he can do essentially like anything he wants. He's that good. So an artist like that, I would consider almost like breaking the generational gap.
Because they'll continue to evolve and so on, you know, and they'll continue to be relevant, you know.
Especially when 90% of smaller producers use all of his samples.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not wrong on that. Like,
my God.
He's doing something so right if other people are using his sounds.
Yeah, that is true. And the funny thing is, he has demonstrated people like, guys, you guys literally from my sample bots, you can make songs. Like you can make songs easily. Here, let me show you. And he just shows you like he just makes a song in less than 30 minutes using his samples. You're like, dude, what can you not do wrong?
Yeah, like so artists like that who do more than just one specific subgenre,
right,
break the generational gap. Because I think he does also too, like I think he has like a future bass-ish side project. And then as well, like he does like stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like sound engineering behind the scenes. So he's kept busy.
Keep it busy, man. Like he's definitely a god that walks among humans.
Oh yeah.
Now, would you say the same thing with the big dog, Excision?
Excision's been top dog for a while.
I mean,
like it's kind of hard to.
The guy's been
in
the scene since the deep dark dubstep days. You know, like,
he's been in it since at least like 2007.
Yeah,
like
that's as far as I remember. Yeah.
He's been in this long enough to know what he's doing, considering that he has 2 festivals in the States and 1 in Mexico. So he definitely is one of those that's just like, you're not going to get rid of him that easily. But I do remember a point where his name actually started to fall lower than what it was. And that was when Destroyed was a thing.
Destroy was a thing. I remember.
Because for a while, all they were doing were Destroyed tours. And like, you know, focusing on the Destroyed project while still having the names of the individual members underneath. But most kids, because, you know, kids, they don't correlate 2 and 2, and they don't correlate, Excision is Destroyed or Downlink is Destroyed. They don't connect. They didn't connect the 2 together. So when Destroyed was coming up, Excision was coming down. And as soon as Excision started focusing back on his solo project, it shifted back to where that name is known.
and what do you think about his music like over the years? Now with Subsidia and his previous and now his recent ones, what do you think his evolution of music stands for?
It's, I mean, he still has the same kind of style. Like,
Yeah, like the heavy.
he kind of has the mentality that he had when he started,
Yeah.
and even his what is it? I think his, I don't know if it's SoundCloud bio or like, I think I remember reading in like his like a copy of his EPK. But literally one of the first things it says was in medical, like, and I quote this, in medical terms, excision literally means removal by cutting.
Yo,
so he has,
what?
yeah, believe it or not. I don't know where I remember seeing that, but I do remember seeing something like along that line. And that kind of translates to what he puts out. Like a lot of his basses and like sounds are like that ripping sound. A lot more prevalent in like the X-rated days for sure. But he still has that he still has that same mentality for him, but it's just evolved to the modern sound. So he's definitely someone like, people can love him or hate him. People can think he's ghost produced or not. He's doing business right though. Like he's doing something right.
I would definitely want to get into that with you on that because a lot of people don't really realize like the business aspect to some of these, big time producers.
Yeah, like it's all a business. And at this point, Excision has grown from one person to a giant, like essentially corporation.
Yeah, basically.
Like it's a, like I think it's at this point it's an LLC or a Class A brand or something like that. Like it's a full on brand.
Basically, like it's a brand of itself that sells itself, and you can splash it into whatever you want. Like people don't really realize this much, but sometimes some of these big producers, if you think about it and you look at their time sets and whatnot, you sometimes ask yourself like, how the fuck does he has time to do all this stuff and still release music and still have visuals? Like, yeah, bro, that's because he has a fucking team.
He outsourced, especially his visuals too. Like he might do the visuals like on stage, like the transformation stuff. And I know he did used to do that a lot
during the Paradox tour.
During the Paradox and the Executioner tour.
Yeah.
Like he did a lot. He had a whole setup, and there's a picture somewhere that actually shows his Executioner setup. It's ridiculous. But none of those visuals were all done by him. He outsourced the visuals and said, hey, we want this song to have this, like essentially like a visual to go with that song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you do something with it? And they're like, yeah, we can do that. So all of his visuals they're all outsourced to the songs. And he has a library so where he could just like play whatever kind of thing. And at this point, most of the songs sound the same to where it could like be like kind of repeat visuals. And then I know the big debate was, is Excision ghost produced or not? And honestly, if he is, it wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah,
with how big he is, with how big the name is now, it wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, of course. Like it only makes sense. Like, guys, like some of these people, they do ghost produce. Some others may take it very offensively about it. It's like, oh, that means he doesn't have talent, or oh, he doesn't have it, like he doesn't have what it takes. He just stepped out. It's like, it's fine for you to have those opinions, guys. But at the end of the day,
doesn't mean they're always right.
That doesn't mean it's always right, But it's at the end of the day, it's business, Like you're trying to create a business, you're trying to move a business, And believe it or not, like Eds has helped and paved the way of a lot of artists that we now listen to them more wholeheartedly. Like for example, a perfect one, Dion Timmer. Like before Dion Timmer ever became Dion Timmer, nobody knew who the fuck he was. He was just some random local in Cali, you know. But
no, he wasn't even in Cali.
Oh, look at that.
No, trust me. I know Dion since he was 14, since he started to get known. I've known him for so long. And what happened was someone showed it. He did a remix for AFK. And AFK was close with Jeff and was like, hey, like, listen to this remix, see if you like it, kind of thing, you know, whatever. And X heard it and like was like, holy shit, like what else does he have, like, kind of thing. And like through his whole backlog was like, all right, like let's get this kid going. And he was also not even US. He's not even a US
isn't
born
he
and
like
raised.
Canadian, right?
No, he's I believe Dutch.
Yo.
Yeah, so I remember when like he was 14 and his name started to get out there back in 2014. And yeah, he at this point is just kind of like taking over the world. X took him under his wing, and
exactly.
I remember Excision getting partial, like kind of like parental ownership, like as like a legal guardian while he was over in the States doing the tour. So when he was 16 and 17, X was essentially his dad.
In the States, as a parental guardian.
Yeah, as the legal parental guardian while he's in the States and all that stuff. But when he was on like in Netherlands, like, you know, he's there.
Yeah.
Like that's where he lives.
Yo. So I didn't know about that side. I only know Dion Timmer through Mantic. Shout out to my brother, right? Ryan, you know. Him and Robbie Infinite, those are homies, and I know Dion from those guys, and they tell me all these stuff about Dion and his work, you know. And I only know about I know only the business aspect of Dion, which is what I was about to say. Is like if it's because of Eds found Dion took off, and because Eds paved the way for him. It was basically a business transaction. Hey, you want to do this for a living? You want to do this and that? Don't quote me on my words. This is just hyperbole of what, for example, what they quote behind the scenes. This is not the actual words, but basically it's you want to be on top next to me and doing all this crazy shit. All right, so I need you to help me, you know, ghost produce my music, and you're going to be on the collabs. You're going to be on some of your collabs and whatnot. And you'll be on top and you're going to be touring with me the whole time. That's basically what happened. Look, we're fucking Dion Timmer. It's
all business.
It's all business. And Eds hold his part of his bargain. He said, I promise you, I'm going to make you big. Look how big he is right now, yo.
Yeah, there is a lot of good and bad to the business thing. And what is good and bad is all subjective to the individual person. Like ghost production, like to me, ghost production, if you're on the scale that like, you know, X or Subtronics, or like if you're on that level, like
if you're a superstar,
it's at no surprise. It's at no surprise that you would be ghost produced.
I mean, look,
now does it mean that they were always ghost produced? No, because look where they came from and look at their sound back then versus now, and it's like you could see the changes.
Yeah, it's very like superstars like superstars like fucking Skrillex and Diplo and all these guys that they have like multiple shows all year long, side projects, labels. They have to run labels and have publicists and whatnot. Obviously, some of these guys have their own ghost production team, you know. Not everybody, and not everybody's gonna make their own music, you know. Sometimes they will outsource her to some ghost producers who are actually dope, and they try to get their name out there in the scene. And basically the exchange is, hey, make some music for me. I got you. I'm gonna put you on the map. And when you look at these artists, you're like, holy shit, how the fuck did these guys got this big and whatnot? Most of them actually because they help these big artists, and now they're end of the bargain, and like look where they are right now. Now they're like touring and doing music for other stuff. Back then, back then when I was younger, definitely I had like an issue with ghost production. But as I got older, I was like, it's business, bro.
You just get more responsibilities as you're an adult.
Yeah.
So it's like basically. Sometimes you don't even have time to think.
No. And how could you? How could you when you're literally touring every weekend and you have a high level production every weekend and you have to make up with visuals? Oh no, I have to also run a label and all that shit. Like, how could you have time to make music when you have 20 million other problems in your face, you know? Obviously, you have to get some help, you know?
Yeah, and I know like some people are different than others. Like, I know we keep bringing Excision up, but he's like the perfect example because I've literally known him for so long. Believe it or not, since he does still live in Canada, there is actually a law, believe it or not, that you have to, if you are a Canadian citizen, you have to at least live in the country for half the year. You have to be in the country of Canada for half the year.
Damn, for 6 months? Interesting.
It doesn't have to be all at once. It's just like a cumulative 6 months.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, which is why you really only see him play these like big festivals and stuff like that. Like, you don't see him constantly touring the States every season.
That kind of explains why most of his major festivals are up there in the north.
Well, you have like, you know, Bass Canyon, you have Lost Lands. Those were just good festival grounds. Like, he just saw the opportunity for a festival ground and was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, but
to the point where Lost Lands, its site right now, those dinosaurs that are there stay up year round. They stay up year round.
They leave those dinosaurs shit over there?
When it becomes like those like extremely giant dinosaurs, they leave them there.
That's so hilarious.
Like, even for other music festivals, like you'll see like the Gathering of the Juggalos, and then in the background is just a dinosaur. It's the funniest. It's the funniest shit.
Yo, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So any festival come out and be like, holy shit, there's a dinosaur here? I didn't know this was part of the production. That's fire. Yeah,
like between all the stuff that they have at Legend Valley, Lost Lands brings in the most money. I'm pretty sure it brings in like the most money for the venue.
Where's this place again? Lost Land? Where's it located?
It's 30 minutes outside of Columbus. It's in a place called Thornville, Ohio.
Oh, it's in Ohio.
It's in Ohio. I know. The only time anyone ever goes to Ohio.
Seriously, I was gonna say that because it's like, oh, now it makes sense why they want to keep Lost Lands in the state, because Ohio. What do you do in Ohio other than watch college football? I don't know what else.
It's college football, drinking, and probably fentanyl.
Jesus Christ, that's
great. They have a huge problem there over the years. It's not fun.
They're trying to compete Florida, man, but they can't, man. Florida.
We have our own designated Florida, man. No one can beat Florida. No. Nothing can beat Florida.
Yo, have you done the meme that's been circling around? Like, they say, like, type in Florida, man, and put in your birthday.
Oh God, I have to see what mine is again.
Oh like, my God,
I do remember doing that. Now I have my phone out here, so let's see. Florida man, May 21st. Let's see. Florida man climbs atop playground equipment at Clearwater Park, tells kids where babies come from. So yeah, that's my Florida man story.
Yo, you cannot make this shit up. Mine says Florida man arrested for having sex with a miniature horse.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Only in Florida.
Only in Florida. I have like bunch of them. Another one was the Florida man arrested for attacking daughter with pizza after she said that she wanted to be alone.
You can't make this shit up, I swear. It just makes you wonder what other absurd Florida stories are there that only happen in Florida.
Oh my god, bro! Have you?
Like, I'm pretty sure talk shows make a game out of it too.
Do you know who actually does that? What's his name? Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club.
Does he really?
He has a segue called Donkey of the Day, who gives donkey for it to people who deserve to be a fucking idiots. He makes fun of those people. He elaborates why they're donkeys, and every week, at least once every week, he always has something to say about Florida. He goes like,
"Yep,
Florida, why you do this? Why you do this? Like, I'm not looking for this. Florida news just happens to look at me, and I just report it." And he goes like,
honestly,
craziest people come from Bronx and all of Florida. And there's like literally stories of Florida every week. When I hear Donkey of the Day says, I'm literally on a gambling saying like, all right, this week, no Florida stories. There's this one Florida story. It's like, dude, how?
It's like
doing this.
At this point, it's just like it's just an anomaly. We're basically Australia, but just in the States, where everything essentially just tries to kill you, whether it's a human or an animal.
Most of the time, it's humans, but yeah.
Yeah, I do remember the whole bath salt zombie incident.
Oh my god, I've heard of that. I was in my hometown PR when that happened. Miami. Yeah, the whole bath salt that people just like literally become zombies, and the adrenaline just skyrockets, and you see the cops shooting at them, and they still keep coming back.
Honestly, that was like when I first heard about that, I thought it was the funniest fucking shit. I was like, the zombie apocalypse is happening, guys. Get your weapons.
Hide your kids, hide your wives, man. The zombie shit is happening in Florida. Like nothing. Not at this point. It's like, well, okay, it's like it's Florida. What else could you expect, man? But shit, it's like
Florida just has some dumb shit, whether it's good dumb shit or bad dumb shit.
Or it's just funny shit.
I personally have seen like some good, like funny dumb shit that only happens in Florida. Like there was a video like years ago when one of the hurricanes was like bustling through.
Yeah.
And someone's taking a video, and then they're playing in the background Raining Blood by Slayer. And they pan the camera to this guy, long-haired, shirtless, holding an American flag.
That was in Florida?
That was in Florida.
On a hurricane?
During a hurricane.
Yo.
And you just see him out there like loud and proud, like, come get me! And just like headbanging to like Raining Blood.
What the fuck, bro? I never knew that video was from Florida.
Yeah, that's I consider him the ultimate Florida man.
Yo.
It was like, it's definitely like top 10 Florida moment for sure.
Hey, great state of Florida, man. It's like you don't want to be associated with it, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to leave here. It's too entertaining.
Honestly, like I feel like Florida is a trap. Like you come here, you expect it to be good, and then you realize that it's good, but there's also a bunch of dumb shit that happens here.
And that's exactly what happened.
The seal that keeps you in Florida is Publix.
The Publix subs, though, those Publix subs are fire, bro.
You can't. Working for Publix, you get old of them pretty fast.
Really?
Like when you work like I've worked for Publix for like, I think we're going on 8 years now.
Whoa.
Like you get old of Publix subs after a while. Like I barely eat them unless I'm feeling like I'm really want a chicken tender sub.
Yo.
But they do, like, I'm not knocking the deli. Like their deli is top tier. Their bakery is top tier. But when you eat Publix subs like a lot on your lunch breaks and like nothing else, it gets old.
I can see that happening. Absolutely. Like, and in any workplace, if you got certain food at first, it's like, holy shit, fuck yeah, I can't wait to eat this, every day. But then every day becomes every month, every year, and you're like,
and it's just like, no.
It's like, is there anything else, that I can eat,
Yeah. So it's like, I started going to, like every time on break, I start going to like different places that like are just like whatever's nearby in like the plaza. Usually if I work 5 a.m., like, cause I'll get up, work a 5 a.m. shift to like 1 or 2 p.m. So on my lunch breaks, almost nearby without fail is a bagel place.
A bagel
can never go wrong. Can never go wrong with the bagel.
Einstein bagels and shit.
It's either like Einstein's, Brooklyn Water Bagels, like the little mom and pop shop. Like, doesn't matter. There's a bagel place everywhere.
Damn, that's fire.
Yeah.
But I can see that happening. It does happen over time. I work at So I worked there, and the cafeteria, at the beginning, I was in heaven because I love Panda, man. And I used to eat Panda almost every day, man. And it got to a point that I got tired of it, and I was and because I love Panda a lot, it's like, fuck, I need to stop eating Panda for a bit or just give it some breaks. So that way I don't have to lose my appetite of Panda ever again. So I decided to, like, every day, there's like 5 different, stuff in there. So you got Pollo, you got Biggie's Bakery, you got, the Panda, you got some chicken place, and then once in a while they got Sushi Maki, they got Subway, they got Farmers Market on certain days, and I started to rotate. Every day there's like a different thing. So that way I don't have to get tired of it.
The best thing to do is just to keep like a die or something like in your backpack or something, like a D20 or something, and just roll it and just be like, what am I going to eat today? And it just rolls. You get a nat one.
Roll the dice.
You get a nat one. If you get a nat 1, you're eating like shit from the garbage. If you get a nat 20, you're eating like a churrascaria kind of thing.
Just roll the dice. See what comes out. Come on. I need a 17. I need a 17. Yes, I got 18. Let's go.
Let fate decide.
Let fate decide. That's hilarious. Or do what I do right now, which is I cook.
Yeah. Cooking is honestly the best thing to do.
Yeah. Save a lot of money. You save
nothing
a lot
beats. There's some good restaurants and some good food, but nothing beats a home cooked meal.
Oh no, man. Oh no, home cooked meal. If it's either me or my fiance, she'll make and she's vegan, which is funny because she'll make the gnarliest steak stir fry. I don't know how she does it, man. I don't know. It's unbelievable. Like, she kills it, man. And then that inspires me. Just like, fuck, I need to cook every day because I don't need to spend, you know what it is that I used to spend almost $20 a day on just eating outside of my home.
Yep.
I turned that shit into a calculator, and that shit ended up like fucking $800, $600 a month.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, especially especially like someone if you don't, like, they don't know how to cook, like, that's going to eat up a lot of your money.
Yeah.
It saves on the grocery aspect because you don't have to eat, like, you don't have to make stuff, but at the same time, it's like, no, you're not really saving money at all.
No.
Because, like, you can have something that's like, $5-10, or then something that's, you go out to dinner one night and it's like $20, $25 a person now.
Exactly.
Like, shit's expensive.
Lately, everything's becoming more expensive. Fuck, even the fucking gas is expensive as fuck, man. I remember when the pandemic happened. I remember it was like $1.50 a gallon. Then then it settled to $2 era. I was like, all right, cool. The $3 started to kick in. And I was like,
I'm like, please make it stop.
Make it stop. And then this year alone became $4 to $5.
And I'm like, that's it. I am becoming a hermit.
I'm taking the train.
I am walking everywhere. And that's the sad thing, is because I can't walk everywhere with the lifestyle I have, because you need a car for shit.
Send me my situation. I live up in Broward and I need to get to Coral Gables just to get to work. It's like,
yeah, it's crazy. It's insane.
It's insane how fucking gas prices like skyrocket to the roof, and all of that is like, shit. All right, I cannot go out anymore. I need to cut. So I need to make some cutting losses.
Yeah, I used to go to the local, because they have every week they have like a dubstep thing goes on in Fort Lauderdale, and I used to go like every other week or so. I barely have gone to. If I'm not playing one now, I'm most likely not going.
See, that's in my situation. Unless I'm there, because I have to do some business, and then I'm not really there, And
yeah,
and I remember me and my fiance, we used to go out every fucking weekend, bro. Every Friday is date night for us. Every Friday, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, we try to do it, but obviously certain places get limited because of the either wearing the mask or limit capacity, so obviously it limits us, and we like, we could just stay over and just pick up food and go. Yeah. But we used to go out every fucking weekend, and now it's like, oh shit. Yeah, I need this money for for gas. I need this money to pay the bills, man, pay the rent. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, after this Los Angeles trip, I'm just gonna hermit. Like, work, gym, no one's really gonna see much of me.
It's
a good thing that you have, we have these things that kind of
that once in a while, but that's a good thing, once in a while, it's not a bad thing to go ahead and spend a lot of money and enjoy yourself, enjoy life with it. There's nothing wrong about that. Once in a while is good. Now, if you make a habit about it every day or every week, then that's a different story. That's when you started to see a lot more of your cash flow going like.
Yeah. It is just always good to have a few X amount of thousands of dollars on standby if you need it for something.
Mm-hmm.
But most people they'll be like, oh, I have this amount of money in my bank account. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How do you have that little?
Yeah, that's because
most people aren't saving, and most people aren't investing in the future of themselves. It's like with Publix, it's like I had a 401k going, and I have the stock program. So just by those two alone, I'm already doing well off, in the future, more than most people. I think in my stock, I have I want to say over $20,000 in there. Mm-hmm. That's just sitting there. That's going to be if I want a house or something, or
right, down payment for a house.
A down payment for a house or a new car or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what that money is for. The 401k, I just don't even touch. I haven't even looked at what it's at right now, but I just don't touch it.
Yeah, I have a similar thing in my job place, a retirement plan, where I could just they throw some of my money in there and it accumulates interest and let it ride. Let it ride. Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because I've started to notice a lot more on the scene that people really do not know how to save up their money or don't know how to administer their finance. Like they just go on a hell bent on spending shit on materialistic shit, you know?
Yeah, it's like, and it's good to have like, you know, like the occasional materialistic stuff, but like, don't, it's like, if it's a habit of like, that's all you're doing, like, say, like, start reevaluating, like, sit down, think about if it's really necessary and just like, take some money and invest in yourself, but in the long term.
I agree.
Because like that's what a lot of companies are. It's like they have the benefits there, but if you're not willing to do it long term, you're not ever going to see them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like right now with like through Publix, it's like for long term, and like this is me 8 years down the line. Like I have like 2 weeks paid off every year, and then you can get right now currently 2 weeks of holiday bonus. But what you can also do with that is if you don't want 2 full weeks, you can use up to 5, like up to a week of that time and just use it as vacation, which that's currently what I'm doing right now. It's like as we speak, like I'm on vacation time.
Oh, so using your floating days, your floating hours.
Yeah, I'm using the floating week to just kind of have some time to myself. And it helped out too because I opened up Little Texas like on Saturday, so I worked then. Went up to Orlando to do the Little Texas show, and then I'm off until the Monday after Lost Lands, and then Tuesday I go back.
Fire, dude.
I still have that second week that I'm just going to get paid for when the time comes.
Right. I definitely want to talk to you more about that because it's very interesting, you know, the journey that you're actually taking, you know, that you're loyal to Publix, you know, you've worked there for many, many years. And at the same time, you're still kicking it in the basing. Now, let me ask you, like, what is your long-term goals within the music scene? Like, do you see yourself like, I'm gonna be in Publix for a bit, quit, and then proceed with my music? Or I see myself like, nah, I like Publix, I like working there, I like the benefits, I'm still ride with them, but I'm gonna still do this. Like
it's definitely the latter. Like I do want to move up corporate with Publix because they do have like a lot more benefits like as you go on.
Right.
But what most people at Publix tend to do, which I've learned not to do, is they focus all their time on Publix so much that they forget to do other things on their like days off or something like that. So while I'm still working, while I'm working full time at Publix, like I'm working 40 hours, but like as soon as I become manager, it's going to be like 45 or 47 and a half hours. Like once it gets to that point, like it's going to cut back a little bit on the music, but not too much. It's just going to be a matter of like trying to figure out what days I can take off, what I can do with it, and just be able to manage both of them at the same time. I'm doing it pretty well now, considering that I have
multiple shows.
The Little Texas show, fucking Lost Lands this week now.
Exactly, Lost Lands.
Next month there is a show that I may be playing.
This will be here by next month, so probably.
Yeah, like this next month in October, there's a show that I'm considered for. I don't know if I'm 100% guaranteed, but if if what everyone's been saying is true, then like guaranteed, like I'm on that show. In November,
my birthday.
Believe it or not, playing at an arcade.
That's fucking fire. Where?
Up in Melbourne. It's this arcade that I go to like every so often.
Oh.
What they're doing is they have what what's known as the Arcade Olympics. So they have, it's just essentially like 3 days of like competitions for like video games, arcade games. And they're just going to have like, you know, different music, live performers and stuff like that. So I just like as soon as they said that they were looking for like musical acts, I was like, you guys want a DJ? Like just on their Instagram post, and they're like, send us a DM right now and we'll talk. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm on that in November. And then probably after that, it's just whatever. It's just going to be whatever, because that's when it's big time season. Like, not going to be able to take much off with Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Right.
Like November, December are like the 2 months out of the year where people just don't see me.
Yeah.
I usually take that time to just like focus on stuff at the house, save up money, focus on Publix, because I know I'm going to be exhausted as hell after that.
Yeah. And
on top of that, still maintaining the social aspect of life, which, going to the gym, hanging out with friends every now and then. So it's definitely a balancing act, but we're getting there.
And no, bro, I admire it, man. And just so you know, you're not the only one doing this, bro. I'm in the same boat as well, you know. I work, like I said, I work at UM, and the beauty about working there is that it gives me the liberty to do so much. Even during my business, my working hours, I do so much, whether it's just music or editing videos. Now I focus more on the podcast, because a podcast became my calling call, you know. Back then I was trying to figure out what I really want with my life. Bass music and DJ was just the only thing that was in my path. And then the pandemic happened, and then I was like, all right, what can I do that makes me happy? And then boom, podcast happened, and never look back. This is like this is gonna be, you know, like my magnus opus, you know.
Yeah, and like that's the thing with the pandemic, that also it awakened everyone.
Yeah,
to figure out what they wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of people were freaking out and getting bored for themselves because they have nothing else to do in their fucking homes. But people like us, that we've already had certain hobbies, like for example, like I like to play video games from time to time. I like to play the main campaigns, like the Final Fantasies and the Kingdom Hearts and the God of War and shit like that. I never got bored easily. I like to play Yu-Gi-Oh competitively. I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemons. Oh, like the podcast, you know, happened. You know, there were so many things that I was like so happy that I was able to do within the pandemic during these quarantine times. You know, that was like, this wasn't such a bad thing. I felt like more of a vacation and everything. But a lot of people, like you said, they didn't have any of that stuff. They didn't have any of the hobbies. And then when people really figured that out, either A, they started making hobbies. Like, for example, a lot of the artists that I've interviewed here, they started making music when the pandemic happened. That's when, and look where they are. They're pretty far away in their path, which is like, wow.
They came, like, there was a lot of quarantine artists that came up, and props to all them.
Props then. And then you got the other half in which they didn't know what to do, but have filed for divorce with their spouses, get out of that fucking house, move to somewhere else, and going fucking nuts. Hey, I've already heard too many Florida man stories during the pandemic where they say like, man shot his girlfriend because he couldn't handle her anymore in the home for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Yeah, no, like the pandemic definitely, it was one of those things where it's like you could see who people really were and what they were actually doing.
Yeah.
And then you had the essential workers like me who just literally went day in, day out, like nothing changed.
Bro, kudos to you, man.
Yeah, no, when it all happened at fucking God, it was chaos at Publix. But
I bet.
I'm still there. If I can if I could survive something like that at this point, I could survive anything.
So how many Karens have you ever encountered in Publix? Because I know in Florida, that's where it all started. Fucking again. Florida, there we go. Florida, where the whole Karen pandemic happened, was like, I'm not wearing a mask. I have a medical condition. I cannot wear a mask.
To answer your question of how many Karens have I dealt with, I'm simply just going to say yes. It's the only answer you need. Because goddamn, the shit that people say, like, it's just, it's absurd.
Like, it gets to a point. It's like, what are we fighting for? Like, why are you fighting? Like, just do it. Follow the rules.
It gets to a point where whenever Karen's like, someone wants to act like that, I just start laughing in their face. I'm just like, look, I don't get paid enough to deal with like corporate problems, like, but I do so in like a way that's like not gonna get me fired.
Right.
Like, I remember someone was looking for like some sort of like some brand of saran wrap, and we took it off of Publix because it was a corporate thing. Like, they just wanted to take it off.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, I specifically remember saying that, oh, it's a well-known brand. It wouldn't just go under like that. Without hesitation, my response was, yeah, and the Titanic was a well-known ship. Look what happened there. Shit changes. And there was like one or two people that were around me that just had to turn around and hide their laughter.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Yeah, it was, luckily I didn't get written up for that, but it was one of those moments. It was one of those moments where it was just like, I really fucking said that, didn't I?
Yo. Oh my God. Woo. What's going on, everyone? If you guys made it all the way to the end of the episode and you feel kind of left out, like, why didn't the episode finish? Like, don't worry, guys. It's okay. The episode was way too big for me to put it in just one episode, that I had to divide the episode because there was so many good content and so many good topics and discussions that it cannot be discussed under one episode, but had to divide it so we can always have brand new episodes with brand new topics every Friday. Always remember that. So be sure to like and subscribe for your weekly episodes at the Lone Wolv Podcast for SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and of course the YouTube channel at lonewolfpod.com. That's right, lonewolfpod.com, where you can check all my latest episodes. And always remember to comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts. Share your experiences. If you guys got a certain topic that you want me to cover for the next episode, please let me know on the comments down below, and I'll do my best to do so. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys at the next one. Deuces.